The crack of bone echoing through the Olympic practice gym made veteran coach Elena Petrov freeze in horror. But what terrified her even more was watching 19-year-old gymnastics prodigy Julian Mora immediately chalk up his hands and attempt the exact same band vault again, posting an Instagram story mocking her safety warnings with a laughing emoji. Elena filed an official complaint, predicting his death. USA Gymnastics buried it, and 48 hours later, the entire world watched her nightmare come true on live television. But here's what the cameras didn't show you. What did Julien say to Elena in the final 60 seconds before his fatal vault? And did he finally realize she was right? The crack of bone echoing through the Olympic practice gym made veteran coach Elena Petrov freeze mid-sentence, her clipboard clattering to the marble floor. But what horrified her was not the sound itself. It was watching the 19-year-old American prodigy, Julian Mora, immediately chalk his hands and attempt the same vault again without even looking at his wrist. The July heat in Seoul made the practice facility feel like a sauna, but the chill running down Elena's spine had nothing to do with temperature. She had coached gymnastics for 32 years across 4 Olympic cycles, and she had seen this type of athlete before, the ones who believed their talent made them invincible, the ones who always ended up in hospitals or wheelchairs. Julien landed the second vault attempt and turned to face the small crowd of international coaches watching the American team practice. His cocky grin spread wide as he pulled out his phone and filmed himself flexing for an Instagram story. Elena watched him type the caption with his possibly broken wrist, the words appearing on screen above his sweaty face. Day 3 in Seoul. Already making these vaults my property. Some coaches think I'm being reckless, but winners don't play it safe. He added 3 fire emojis and a laughing face before tucking the phone back into his gym bag. Elena set down her clipboard and walked directly across the practice floor, her footsteps deliberate and slow. The other coaches knew that walk. It was the walk she used before ending careers and crushing dreams. She approached the head of USA Gymnastics, a nervous man named Robert Chen, who kept adjusting his glasses and pretending not to notice the obvious safety violations happening 10 feet away. Elena did not waste time with pleasantries. In her thick Russian accent, she said, "This boy is going to hurt himself badly," loud enough that nearby gymnasts turned their heads. "You see what he just did? He broke his wrist and tried the vault again. This is not courage. This is dangerous." Robert cleared his throat and glanced at Julien, who was now attempting a handstand on the uneven bars, despite his injury. "He is uncoachable," Robert admitted quietly. His actual coach says the same thing, but he is too talented to bench. He is our best shot at gold in vault and floor exercise. Elena's jaw tightened. She had heard these exact words before in Moscow in 1979, when a young gymnast named Dmitry had insisted on performing a banned skill. Dmitry had been paralyzed from the neck down and spent the rest of his life unable to walk. The Soviet coaches had said the same thing then. too talented to bench, medal potential too high to ignore. She turned and watched Julienne dismiss his spotter, a younger American gymnast who looked relieved to step away. "I do not need a babysitter," Julienne announced, loud enough for everyone to hear. "Spotters are for gymnasts who are not confident in their skills." The other American team members exchanged nervous glances, but said nothing. Elena had noticed they avoided spotting Julienne during practice. He had called it weakness when anyone offered help, and the team had learned to keep their distance from his ego. Elena filed her formal safety complaint with the Olympic Committee the next morning, her hand shaking as she signed the document that detailed every reckless action she had witnessed. The committee secretary, a young Korean woman in a crisp blue blazer, accepted the powers with a polite smile and promised they would be reviewed immediately. Elena never heard back. She knew she would not. Olympic gold medals mattered more than the safety of the athletes who won them. And everyone in the gymnasium understood this truth, even if nobody said it out loud. Meanwhile, the equipment manager named Doug had noticed something disturbing about Julienne's practice setup. The landing mats for vault were positioned 6 inches farther back than Olympic regulations required. When Doug approached Julienne about moving them to the correct distance, the gymnast laughed in his face. Julienne said he needed more airtime for his Instagram videos, and that the extra distance gave him better angles, and that Doug would not understand. Doug documented the violation in his daily report, but received no response from USA gymnastics officials. The team doctor, a tired woman named Dr. Sarah Kim, had been keeping her own secret records. She logged 3 separate wrist fractures that Julienne hid by wrapping them himself. She recorded 2 concussions he lied about on mandatory health screenings. She noted a torn ligament in his ankle that he treated with ice packs and painkillers instead of resting. She confronted Robert Chen twice about Julienne's undisclosed injuries, but each time she was told the same thing: medal chances outweighed temporary physical problems. They told her young athletes always had minor injuries, and that Julienne was tough enough to push through the pain. Dr. Kim stopped filing reports after the second conversation. She knew where her career would end if she pushed too hard against USA gymnastics priorities. Julienne seemed to feed off the controversy he created. During a break between practice sessions, Elena overheard him talking to 2 younger gymnasts from the Canadian team. He said, while filming himself doing one-armed pull-ups, that those old school coaches were just jealous. He said they had their time and they were never good enough to revolutionize the sport. And now, they wanted to hold back people like him who actually had vision. That evening, Elena's phone buzzed with a notification. Someone had tagged her in Julienne's Instagram story. She opened the app and saw her own face frozen in a screenshot from practice, her expression serious and concerned. Above her image, Julienne had written, "Imagine being too scared to revolutionize gymnastics," followed by 3 crying, laughing emojis. The post had already received 4,000 likes. The next day, during practice, Julienne attempted the band skill that had consumed Elena's nightmares for the past week. It was the triple twisting double backflip that had been outlawed after it severely injured a Romanian gymnast in 1985. Julienne landed the triple twist in practice by pure luck, his feet hitting the mat at an angle that should have broken both ankles, but somehow held. The small crowd of coaches and athletes gasped. Julian's own coach jumped up from the bench, applauding instead of pulling him aside for the safety violation. Elena felt her stomach turn as she watched history prepare to repeat itself. That evening, Julien posted a video on Instagram that went viral within hours. In the video, he said that tomorrow in the finals, he would perform the triple twisting double backflip. He acknowledged it was banned and mocked the BMT's warnings, saying that the dinosaur coaches thought it was too dangerous and that greatness does not ask for permission. The post received 20,000 likes before midnight. At dawn, Elena found the Olympic gymnastics director in his office, her eyes red from lack of sleep. She told him she had seen this before, in Moscow, in Barcelona, in Atlanta. "This skill hurts people badly," she said, "and you must stop him." The director, a former French gymnast named Philippe Rousseau, leaned back in his leather chair and sighed. He said the world wanted to see greatness, and they could not hold back talent just because they were afraid. If Julien could demonstrate control, they would allow it. Elena's hands trembled as she left his office. She had done everything possible except physically restrain Julien herself. The night before the finals, Julien texted his parents in California that the next day he would make history and that they should watch him become immortal. His mother would read that message 10,000 times in the years that followed, searching for some hidden meaning she had missed, some cry for help buried in her son's arrogance. She never found it. The next morning, Elena sat in the coaches' section of the packed Olympic arena, her fingers gripping the armrest so hard her knuckles turned white. The triple twist rotation began beautifully, but somewhere in the second rotation, Julien's body position shifted half a degree too far. Elena saw it immediately. He was over-rotated by exactly half a twist, which meant his feet would not find the mat first. His head would. The impact happened so fast that most spectators did not understand what they had seen until the screaming started. Julien's neck hit the landing mat at the wrong angle with more than 900 pounds of force behind it. His body went completely still and slid off the blue mat onto the hardwood floor. The arena fell silent except for someone crying in the front row. Medical personnel in red jackets sprinted across the floor while Elena sat frozen in her chair, her worst prediction confirmed in front of 12,000 witnesses. The cameras cut away, but the damage was already done. Julien passed away 17 minutes later, before the ambulance even left Olympic Park. The injuries were so severe that doctors could do nothing to save him.